It's Work It Wednesday, not work it, it's shadow work.
I don't know who needs to hear this.
Smile on your face, another day. Go, yeah, they say now you're in a better place. And
I am Kitty with Craft by Kitty Lynn. If you're new in here or if you're watching afterwards, I wanted to talk to you guys and do some explaining on crystal gridding. So if you have questions, let me know. Hey there. And I don't see anybody's name, so make sure you hit the chat on Restream or just tell me your name. So I apologize. I can't see anything other than Facebook user. So I'm going to talk to you about crystal gridding. So I'm kind of going to start with some different shapes of crystals and the general formula. I'm going to put a bunch of pictures in the Blend Your Spirit group so you guys can have some examples. You can do crystal gridding for self-love, for manifesting, for protection, for invoking something, for any kind of intention. And when you do a crystal grid, you want to know what your intention is initially and what you're going to focus on, because the point of a crystal grid is you're having sacred geometry, which is universal communication, universal energy and shapes, and you're placing crystals within that sacred geometry or within that grid to bring in that energy. And when you do that, you are bringing in the intentioned energy through the grid. Okay, so that is really what the gridding is. You see different crop circles, you see different circles, you see sacred geometry in nature, you see them within spiritual places. Witches make grids, Christians can make grids, any denomination, any religion, any belief, you can do grids. It's about taking a crystal, placing an intention within it, and placing it within the sacred geometry, which is a universal language, to bring in a very high vibration frequency. And it's going to depend on the frequency that's brought in, will depend on the crystals and the intention that you have. So for the sake of today, I'm going to talk to you about a self-love crystal grid, of course, because Valentine's is coming up, but not really because Valentine's Day is coming up, but because everybody needs to focus on self-love. And this is the month that everybody talks about love. There's no love like that of loving yourself. It's the hardest one to love. It's the hardest one to accept fully. It's the hardest one to do nice things for. It's the hardest one to forgive. There's a lot of things that have to do with self-love that are very difficult for all of us. Right? Because if we screw up and say something that we shouldn't, or if we act a certain way, or if we get ourselves into a situation, we can get embarrassed, we can get angry at ourselves, and we don't forgive ourselves very easily, right? And then we spend our whole lives being pushed down, right? And family, friends, people around you forming you into this person that they believe you to be. And that's really not necessarily who you are. You don't find out who you are until you start digging a little deeper and dig into the shadow and start learning who you are, unlearning, unfucking all the things that you've been taught. And so crystal gridding is one of those things that can be used no matter what your belief, no matter where you're at in your spiritual journey, no matter if you like crystals, if you don't like crystals. It is all about intention and beauty and connecting with the universe. So I'm going to talk to you about, and I don't have, let me see if I can share a screen. I may not be able to. Okay, I'll post these in the circle then. So the crystals that you want to use for this specific grid that I'm going to do is crystals that have to do with self-love, empowerment, self-care, and cleansing and purifying. Okay, that is what we want to go for when we are working with self-love, is acceptance, purification, self-love, seeing the goodness in you, right? So to see the goodness in you, you need to have something to help you get rid of the negative energy, which in this specific kit that I have is selenite, a selenite tower. It's just a very white tower that gleams in this light, but it is a selenite tower. It is to be the center part. Okay, the center part of the grid. When you're talking about a grid, this will be the center part. It does not have to be a point. This one is a point. The idea of a point is it's up here, right? The energy comes from here. It also brings in energy to here, right? At that point, and then it can bring energy down. So when you're sitting this on a paper or a grid, this is going to be what is going to be bringing the energy down. Okay. And so I like to work with towers or points in the middle because to me that is the straw for the energy to be sucked down into. Okay. And so I pick some sort of a tower that is going to match with whatever my intention may be. And like I said, for this one, it is selenite. I also have for this clear quartz because clear quartz obviously magnifies. It is the master healer. It charges everything and anything that it touches. It increases the charge, the electricity, the energy. And so I have these little points here. Okay. And I have several of them because this is what I will do the gridding with. Those. And then for this specific grid, I also have fluorite and amethyst hearts. Okay. So I have amethyst heart and fluorite. That one's a rainbow fluorite. So we'll have those. And that is how I will set everything up. Let me see if I can't do a little flipperoo and show you what it'll look like when I set it up. So, and I do have this little kit available. Hey guys, hey Averon. I do have kits available. I posted what they are up on the screen. I have several different kinds. This is the specific for the